If you are to the point like these three Muslims I'm close with now, that intellectually they believe all that and they really do believe it, what should we say to them? What should they really look for, or are they responsible because they already believe it?
I would say to such a person that they should continue to keep their eyes trained on Jesus.
Good.
Read the scriptures. Note what he says. I remember exactly where I was when I was in that position. I had received dreams and visions. I had received a vision and 3 dreams. I had studied Islam and Christianity critically for years, but I knew the moment I accepted Christ would be the moment that I would have to say no to my family. I would hurt them more deeply than I had ever hurt anyone. And yet I couldn't take my eyes off Jesus, though. There's something about Jesus when you realize that he is the Savior of the world and you start reading through his words. There's something about him that captivates you. And as I was reading what he had said in Matthew chapter 10, changed my life, because I was saying to myself, God, I cannot at this point give up my family. It would be literally like I was declaring war on my family if I accepted Christ. And then in Matthew chapter 10, it says, "He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me." And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm putting my family above God. Now, at the end of times, when I show up before God, my family is not going to be able to save me, but God is. And then I read further and I said, God, it's not just my family, though. If I accept you at this point, it will be as if my entire life is forfeit. It's as if I will lose my life. And then it says in the very next few verses that he who's not willing to pick up his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. What does it mean to follow Jesus? What it means to follow Jesus is to be willing to lay down your life for the sake of God and his truth, because that's exactly what Jesus did. He was willing to die for the sake of mankind because that was his mission given by God. That is exactly why he was here, was to be willing to die for the sake of those who had called him their enemy. And so when Jesus was willing to die for people, if you take a look at your own life and say, I'm not willing to lay this down, I'd rather hold on to my life, then you're not worthy of Jesus. That's what he says. But if you really want to follow him, that means saying, yes, I will follow you, come what may. And Jesus, this is the reason why he gives us eternity with him. He promises us to have eternity with him so we can do exactly that, so we can lay down our lives. When he says in Matthew chapter 5 and 6, don't worry about where your food will come from. Why is he saying that? So you can give your food to other people, so you can feed the hungry, so you don't have to worry about yourself because your life is taken care of by God. When he says clothe the naked, even if your enemy is naked, give them some clothing. If they're thirsty or hungry, give them some food. Why does he say that? Because your life isn't designed for your own protection. God has you protected. Pour yourself out the way Jesus did for the sake of everyone around you. That's what it means to be a Christian, to love people even to the point of death in following God, because that's what he did. And so if you keep your eyes trained on Jesus, all of this comes into place. God knows if you need a vision or a dream. He'll give it to you if you do. And if you don't, he won't. He's guiding you by the hand. He loves you. Will you take his hand? Will you follow him? Will you allow your life to be like Jesus' life?